I don't give draft grades. I think they're very consumable, but sort of ridiculous. I'm not going to pretend I know how well your 6th and 7th and mostly your 5th round picks are going to do. It's silly. I mean, I saw this weekend, Patriots get an A+. If Mac Jones is average, it's a bad draft. Oh, the Jets draft. Oh, can Zach Wilson play? Or is he completely overwhelmed for 2 years? My prediction, in the best defensive coach division in football. I'm not going to make grades on drafts. I mean, these teams that drafted quarterbacks, if your quarterback doesn't work, it's a terrible draft. Chicago's could be a great draft, or it could be terrible. So I'm not going to waste time. Now, I will say this. My job is to give you as potentially accurate an evaluation as I can. So what I've done, anybody that's listened to me, Joy's been here, what I do every Monday after the draft, I think has a much greater chance to be accurate. I take your top 2 or 3 top free agents, your top 2 or 3 draft picks, and then those guys, it's a much greater chance they hit. And I thought there was 3 teams that got an A+, and they were already really good rosters. I thought the Cleveland Browns get an A+ for their offseason. The LA Chargers get an A+ for their offseason. And the Kansas City Chiefs get an A+ for their offseason. So let me explain. Cleveland's already got a nice roster. They made the playoffs and they won a playoff game. But their back end was awful. They not only addressed their linebacking and secondary, they massively upgraded. That was as good a weekend as the Cleveland Browns have ever had in terms of addressing more of their issues. So you get Jadeveon Clowney, Troy Hill, John Johnson. These guys have played in the league. These are grown-ups. These are men, not boys in the NFL. Then you go get a corner, Greg Newsome, who I had going in the first round earlier than they got him, and maybe the linebacker from Notre Dame. So what you get here is a mix of veterans. You get a mix of youth. You get guys who have called plays. John Johnson for the Rams has been calling plays for a defense. You get grown-ups, kids, and you attack your one weakness. And I already know you got a good coach and can win a playoff game because I saw it last year. That is an A+ off season. You had a weakness. You solved it with veterans and draft picks, not just kids. I don't want to hear, we drafted 9. You got it. Most GMs in trades don't want 9 picks because half these guys don't pan out. So Cleveland A+. Let's go to the Chargers. Really good roster, but a bad O-line. Not only did they solve their O-line, it could be as good as any not named Kansas City or maybe the Colts in football. Corey Linsley, Pro Bowler, from bad at center to a Pro Bowl center. Then they got Rashawn Slater, Asante Samuel, and Josh Palmer. Josh Palmer is going to be the surprise 3rd-round pick in the draft. Had a bad college quarterback. Kid's a stud. So they attacked with Justin Herbert. They attacked their weakness, got a Pro Bowl center, many graded the top left tackle, and then they got the best corner drafted in the 2nd round. And again, Jared Cook, Corey Linsley, and the Steelers, I didn't put it here, but they got a Steeler guard as well. Major upgrade. And it's not just upgrading for any quarterback. It's upgrading for Justin Herbert. They already have good weapons. And the team that's not getting mentioned that had a great offseason is the Kansas City Chiefs. Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. What do they need to make it work? A good quarterback. Check. Mahomes. A good offensive line. That was a huge issue in the Super Bowl. They not only made their offensive line great, they added depth. They got Orlando Brown, Pro Bowl left tackle. Joe Thuney, Pro Bowl guard. Kyle Long out of retirement. Austin Blythe, top 10 center. Then they drafted Creed Humphrey from Oklahoma, the best center. Now they have 2 legitimate elite centers. Their weakness linebacker, they got Nick Bolton, who I thought should have been drafted higher. These are playoff teams already. These are good rosters already that had a hole. And the Browns attacked their linebacker and secondary. The Chargers attacked their offensive line. What the Chiefs did to their offensive line is beyond attacked. Sharknado. They got stuff flying all over here. They added a great center, then a college center. And again, you're giving Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Baker Mayfield. These are guys that these are big time. I got my issues with Baker, but he won a playoff game. So to me, those are A+ off seasons. Stefanski won Coach of the Year. Herbert was the best rookie quarterback, and Andy Reid, Mahomes, enough said. Now, I want to mention two other drafts I thought were really strong because the coaches used to coach in college. So I predicted they'd do well in the draft. They did. Jacksonville and Carolina. Again, Urban just out of college. Matt Rule 1 year out of college. I thought both of them showed a complete direction. Both went heavy into offense. They're both offensive coaches. The Jacksonville Jaguars went quarterback, running back, offensive tackle. They're telling you right now, we're going to build a running game. We're going to build a running game to take the pressure off Trevor Lawrence. For the first time in a decade, Jacksonville's got a direction, I believe, a culture changer, and stars offensively. They're not going to be very good defensively. They'll score points. Same thing for Carolina. They're not going to be a great team. But they went out and said, we're going to get hyper-athletic at quarterback Sam Darnold. They got the best corner in the draft, and then look what they did. Wide receiver, left tackle, tight end. I'll say this, Chuba Hubbard is going to be potentially the steal of the draft. So I don't think those off seasons are as good as the Chiefs, Browns, Chargers, but these teams, these offensive coaches said, we're going to be explosive. Now, if you want me to just trade best draft, I don't do it because I don't know what your 5th, 6th, 7th round guys are going to be. But I will say the Miami Dolphins on sheer draft, 5 picks, 4 could be high-end starters, and Hunter Long may eventually start at tight end. I thought Miami, in terms of just drafting, I love their draft last year mostly, too. But Jalen Waddle now gets to play with his college quarterback. So the 3A plus off seasons, Browns, Chargers, Chiefs. The two teams were the college coaches with an offensive background clearly head in the offensive direction. Urban and the Jags, Matt Rule and the Panthers. And just in terms of draft, I thought Miami crushed it, just in terms of draft picks. Okay. So the Aaron Rodgers situation, it's so weird. And I actually love, Aaron is the gift that keeps on giving. So Aaron Rodgers, day of the draft, Packers burned him a year ago. I'm going to burn you. And so right now the story is the ball is in Mark Murphy's court. Aaron wants the Packer GM out. The GM of the Packers, Brian Gutekunst, he went and got Jordan Love last year, apparently went a little rogue. Here's the whole thing here. It's not that complicated. If Jordan Love, who they drafted last year in the first round, can play, your problems are really not that dire. What you do after June 1st, you trade Aaron, so you split up the salary cap hit. You call Denver, say, give me 3 first-rounders and Jerry Jeudy, the wide receiver. If Jordan Love can play and you drafted him in the first round, he doesn't cost anything. So the dead cap hit for Aaron Rodgers isn't the end of the world. It all comes down to, can Jordan Love play? I'm not saying problem completely solved, but think about this. If you could go to a Denver, and that appears to be the leader in the clubhouse for him, and get like Jerry Jeudy, their receiver last year, I'd have Devontae Adams, Jerry Jeudy, Aaron Jones, a top 5 offensive lineman, and Robert Tonyan, the tight end, had 11 touchdowns last year, and Matt LaFleur, the coach, in a division with dysfunctional Detroit, Kirk Cousins, and rookie Justin Fields. Green Bay would win the division. Would win the division probably easily if Jordan Love can play. And that's why you took him right in the first round. I always said, I got the Jordan Love move. I understand it, but it only works if he can play. But instead, Jordan Love is a beautiful mystery, in the words of Aaron Rodgers. Is he Paxton Lynch? Some say he is. Is he potentially a B-plus Mahomes? Some say he is. He's had a year in the system. Can the dude play? We don't know. Because of COVID, the media's not allowed to go to practice. So nobody knows. Is he Paxton Lynch? Is he Patrick Mahomes? But I mean, there have been more UFO sightings in the last 7 days than Jordan Love sightings in the last year. So this whole situation with Aaron Rodgers, if you're at practice and you're watching him and you're like, he's 85% of Josh Allen or Mahomes, you got no issues. Aaron's 37, 2 collarbones, very expensive, prickly, difficult to get along with. It's a divorce. He wants to go play West. He's dating somebody from Hollywood. He's doing Jeopardy. You're fine. I mean, your division, let's be honest, is dysfunctional. Chicago hopes Justin Fields can play. Dan Campbell, Lions, Kirk Cousins, limitations, Minnesota. This all comes down to a general manager in Green Bay who said, hey, this kid is potentially great. All right, it's on you. If he is, this is not that big of a deal. I mean, don't get me wrong. Aaron Rodgers will leave, but it's not like if Aaron goes to the Broncos, he's going to line up 9 straight Super Bowls. He's 37. He's never had that Tom Brady, I want to play forever gene. He's already doing Jeopardy. Aaron's had injuries. Tom didn't have those kind of injuries. And frankly, if you go to a division with Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes, that is a lot of barriers to go through to just win the division, forget Super Bowls. But if Jordan Love can't play, then you got to fire the GM because it was a terrible pick. You may have ruined the culture of the Packers, and you ticked off your franchise quarterback. So it all comes down to the general manager, Brian Gutekunst. Do you know what you're doing? If Jordan Love can play, this is pretty easy. I mean, when Mahomes, they recognized he could play, the Alex Smith situation, see ya, buddy. Thanks for mentoring. All comes down to that. Brett Veach and Andy Reid draft a guy that none of us watched play in college, didn't know anything about. Well, you got Alex Smith. Is Alex Smith going to be offended? What? Oh, boy, he's pretty good. No problem. If Jordan Love can play, move Aaron. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.